Have you seen this? It's a more recent announcement, but some of these video platforms are starting to develop ways that you can just send an avatar of yourself to meetings. Have you seen this?
Yes.
So this, I feel like is like the next level of even what we were just discussing. Like, can you
Yes.
imagine? It basically just means that at some point there will be a meeting of avatars.
Yeah. And what you said is really important about accountability. So video meetings, they still hold us accountable for our behavior. Over the phone, we can sit upright, of course, but we're not being held accountable because nobody can see us. In video, we are. What this is doing is taking away accountability. I don't need to present myself professionally. And we also know from the literature that when we do dress professionally and do sit upright and do act as if other people can see us, it does put us in that psychological state where we feel more professional. Thus, our perception gives off an
Mhm.
air of professionalism and confidence. We're taking away that accountability now.
Mhm.
So my view is I can only see this being a negative factor for
Yeah.
nonverbal intelligence. For efficiency, fantastic. Maybe for productivity, fantastic. For nonverbal intelligence, social connection, social communication, relationship building,
Mhm.
no, not so much.
Yeah, I just question the increase in efficiency and productivity argument as well, because at a certain point, you send this avatar into the meeting for you. Are you getting the same amount out of that meeting as if you had been there in person? Are these meetings now going on longer because people don't have the same kinds of limits to their time because they're like, okay, well, I'll have that avatar join that meeting while I go to this meeting. All of a sudden, it's not like you're doing anything more productive necessarily with your time. You're just creating more work. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
depends really, because we do see, particularly in American culture, they love a meeting.
Yeah.
And a lot of meetings aren't particularly productive.
Right.
So those meetings that are just kind of meetings for the sake of meetings, you don't
Mhm.
necessarily need to be there. But then look at the greater system. So I think there are other ways to create productivity and efficiency that they aren't needed. So if we really look at this system and we're saying, okay, well, we need avatars for this, well, then there's a greater issue. Because if you don't need to be present in that meeting, then is
Right.
it a necessary meeting? There's that meme, this could have been an email,
Yeah.
but it really does apply. If you can send an avatar and you don't need to be present, then what's the point in
Right.
can it be distributed through a different means?
Right. Right. That's I think my question, right? Is like if we're just if we're not being thoughtful about how people are spending their time in general and we're just replacing ourselves with avatars, I think that we're doing ourselves and our teams and organizations a disservice in
Yes.
just filling hours with possibly meaningless conversation and interaction when really what we should be doing is reflecting on how people are actually spending their time and what channel of communication is most appropriate for the message.
Yes. And if we are replacing some in-person meetings with online meetings or phone calls or group chats and things like that, well, that's fine if that is more efficient and productive. But
Mhm.
we need to make sure that we are still facilitating that social connection. So
Mhm.
if you are replacing some things with AI and technology, well, you need to make sure you facilitate a chance for your team to be in person. So
Right.
maybe have lunch breaks or coffee breaks where you really encourage everyone to be together, even if it is just virtually on video with cameras on.
Right.
We have a policy for our team meetings that you have to be camera on.
Mhm.
And a lot of people say, oh, well, I can't because of this reason or that reason. But okay, well, this meeting is replacing an in-person meeting. So
Mhm.
in person, you would need to show up. So
Right.
there are no excuses for why you can't show up in a more convenient location.
Right.